and we are now, Nick, live on the internet. Good evening. It's Wednesday night, lighting chat here with the Jockey News TV. I've got Nick Airriess with us tonight. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening, John. Welcome back from all the show extravaganzas.
Boy, isn't that the truth? We have been here and there, and
yeah.
Our wives are wondering, who are these strange men in our house, and why do they smell so bad?
Yeah, actually, Crystal locked the door, so yeah, exactly. Yep, for sure.
Well, for those of you watching, this is a live streamed event tonight. We decided we're going to do a live one. We haven't done this for a little while, and if it's going to be we're recording it. So if we are too choppy and blotchy, we'll put the recorded version up. So you just have to look for the one that says fixed. But hopefully, it looks like everything's working well right now. So Nick, we've had some travels. Expo. What? Give us. We haven't talked since DJ Expo. What were your kind of some of the takeaways from DJ Expo for you this year?
Well, the thing that I found with a lot of people that I talked to at DJ Expo is that everybody's looking for multi-use. They're looking for really cool new gadgets, and we have a lot of those out now. There's a couple that are really standing out, kind of unique effects and unique looks that people are kind of looking for a way to set themselves apart from everyone else that's out there. Because as you know, there are a lot of DJs out there that you have to compete with, and I think that in this circumstance, there's a lot of people that just want to see something different.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, I don't know if you were in the same booth that I was, but man, there's some Chauvet DJ stuff going on all over the place there. There was the Motion Orb, which we're going to have to talk about here pretty soon. There was the Wave IRC, the Intimidator Wave IRC. There was the Wash Effects, which we just released a video on, and in 6 days it's already got 1,300 hits, which is awesome.
Wow.
And there's just been a bunch of stuff. The Easy Gobo. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. But this is a game changer. This really is. It's an amazing unit. So, and then we also had the Las Vegas DJ show, which was pretty cool. I wasn't unfortunately able to attend, but I heard there's a lot of people there, and there were some great seminars that went down. Of course, our friend Jamie Bodie and Jeremy Breck had an awesome seminar about the FlareCon, which was great. Which whenever you want, John, we can get one of those in here and show it off. So
yeah, I've had some people asking questions about the FlareCon because they look at Jeremy Breck and Jamie, and those guys are so good at doing that stuff, and they're like, you're kind of more like me. Can you figure it out and tell me how to do it? So Nick, I think that'll definitely be something that we'll do in an
and show. Again, it is very easy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Jeremy kind of walked me through it.
I want to show off the Scorpion script. Yeah,
let's take a look at that.
Absolutely. So here is the unit right here. Nice, small, compact housing. We've actually had a completely new design for a housing here. We wanted to kind of make it like a min laser on steroids. It's got to be a very, still small and compact, powerful housing, but it's got to be able to fit in a very small package, which we did. On the back, we'll just start with that. You get your standard scissor bracket that you can use to, sit on the floor, on a table, or even hang up on a truss because it's got little holes. On the back, we've got our power input. It uses a 12-volt, 2-amp DC plug here, so you don't have to worry about running long extension cords up there or anything. You can just plug in the remote. And then, of course, here is this big thing sticking out here at the end here. That is actually the USB keyboard interface. That plugs into the back of the laser, so you can actually connect the laser right to it. And you can hook up, which is included, a 5-meter USB extension. So you can actually run this laser up onto your truss and then run this cable down to the keyboard.
Gotcha.
Which is also included. And I have that right here.
Now, for the people watching,
this little guy right here.
Yep. And the people watching, they're wondering why. Yeah, we've got some lag going on here.
We include a keyboard because you can actually. Yep. That's okay. We can include a keyboard because we can actually type right on the keyboard directly into the laser, and it'll output text from that keyboard to the laser. So I actually prepared a quick little example of that. If you look behind me, I got my wall set up, and we've got DJ on the wall back behind me here. Let's see if I can turn the camera here a little bit so you can see that.
Or it looks like T.O.
The back wall, we actually... Oh, yeah. Okay, so it might be reversed. So what you can actually do is you can flip it using the mirror function.
Oh, nice.
Does that look right? So there you go.
It's back.
So I actually use the mirror function on the keyboard. Is it backwards? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is for us right now.
I can't see exactly the way you see it because it's reversing it. Yeah. So what does it look like to you? To me, it looks like DJ.
Yeah,
so,
it's looking like
right?
a CO to us.
All right, let's try it again here. Let's flip it.
There you go.
How about that?
There we go. Now we're DJ.
There we go.
And now we're back.
Beautiful, DJ. All right. So what I'm actually doing is, we're back. Okay. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm flipping the mirror button on the keyboard. Let me get this out of here. So you see we've got the mirror button right there, and that actually flips the image around. So depending on the way that you have the laser mounted, it will actually change the orientation of the text that you're putting up on the display. So now I can go to my keyboard here, and I can type pretty much anything. So let's go to, I'm going to backspace. Let's do DJNTV. All right? So back behind me, we've got DJNTV up on the wall.
Yep.
You see that?
Yep. It's backwards, but yep, it's on the wall.
Okay. So now, oh, it's backwards?
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. So, I just got a poor connection thing, John. Oh, there we go. Back and running. So,
yep.
Does that look good?
There we are.
I can't tell. It looks a bit. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Okay, that helps. If I turn around, it looks great. Oh, and it's all over my face. That's lovely. Yeah. So we got it all over the back wall there, and you can see how it kind of spreads around. And I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around here so we can see what's going on here. So
sure.
You can see how it's all spread around the entire room.
Yeah.
And it covers a large distance. Now, I've already set this laser to the specific size that I want it to be, and let me just remove this thing here.
Nick, when you say
what I'm going to do is actually show you.
Hang on. When you say size you want it to be, now, are you referring to the size of the letters, or are you the size of the spread?
Well, okay, so the size of the spread. And that's what I was going to show you next is so if you look at the actual spacing, like the size that this symbol is.
Yep.
I can actually take that size down by going right to the back of the unit, and if you look on the back, there's a little size adjustment right there. See that? It's like a little, it's like a little hole, and I've got a little screwdriver here, a little tiny guy. See that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm going to put it in the hole here, and we'll adjust the size. So now, if you look on the wall right next to my phone here, you can see how the size goes down and up and down and up. And so I'm going to do that exact same thing on the wall behind me so you can see what exactly I'm doing. So you can see how they're much smaller?
Yes.
Come on. Okay. So I can make them smaller. I can make them bigger. You see how they can change size?
Oh, yes.
So now this is if you're in a much larger room, you would want to make it much smaller because then it'll cover a much wider distance. Whereas if you go, bigger, and in this circumstance, which I want to be a lot bigger because I'm in a smaller room.
Yeah.
So if you were throwing this on, a wall right next to your DJ booth, you would want this to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And so we built in this really awesome manual size adjustment, and that really makes it really easy to use. So I'm going to set my camera stand right back up here. There we go. Okay. So the actual unit behind us, and we can type anything we want, and there's a whole bunch of built-in effects as well in here. And I'm going to start with just kind of going through some of the effects. We have a flow, which is really nice for if you have more text than just a simple like DJNTV.
Right.
If you want to say tune in to DJNTV. So we'd have to reverse back and we say tune in to DJ and we won't do separate words though. TV. And now if I wanted that to scroll and kind of shoot across the wall there,
yep.
I could actually, we're going to actually confine that down so it's a little easier to read. DJNTV is one word. NTV. Okay. And then I'm going to add the flow effect in. So the flow effect will actually allow it to scroll through. And you can use the up and down arrows to actually adjust the speed in which it flows. So you can see how it flows nice and through, and you can see it spelling it along the wall as it goes by.
Yeah.
And that's if you want to have it say more than just a simple word. It's really, really nice feature while still maintaining the clarity of it. Now, one thing that I want to make sure to mention here is, as you notice, the text was a little bit hard to read when we first set it up there. In fact, I'm going to add that back in here, and you'll see. You see how it kind of flickers like that?
Yeah.
For those of you out there that have are familiar with lasers, when they're in a like big lasers you see at like clubs or big concerts or whatever, they have actually two little mirrors in there that do this. They're called scan mirrors or galvos, as some people like to refer them. This actually has galvos in it. Then they're rated by the points per second. So that's how many points they can assemble in a single second. And some of the really nice concert style lasers that are thousands of dollars will have 30 kpps, or that's 30,000 points per second. Okay. That they'll be able to build and display. There's even nicer ones out there that are like 60 or 50 kpps, which those are what like some people call animation lasers. This one has 10 kpps because, of course, we have to keep the price in mind when it comes to this thing. We can't pay $1,000 for this. Yeah. You just can't. So this is $299 map. So it's a very affordable item. So we got affordable galvos. And that's the main thing you have to keep in mind, is you have to just be aware that what this thing's capabilities are. So right now I have it set to limit the characters that it puts up on the wall to, I believe right now it's 12. So I can go down, and this is a button on the keyboard. Here, I'll show you that button really quick just so you can see it. Sure. So this button right here, that guy, will actually allow you to confine the characters, and it's called text quantity. It'll allow you to confine the characters to a specific point. Oops. Still hasn't flipped around there. Come on, flip my screen. There we go. There we go. So I'll confine it down to 10. And so now you can see it's doing 10. It's a little bit better. And so now it's down to 8. It's getting better still. So now we're down to 6. And 6 looks pretty good. And in real life, 6 is actually a reasonable amount for when it comes to text. Now, when you're looking at it, with the naked eye, 8 is actually a reasonable amount. But in a dark room where this is the only thing going, you could actually get 12 or 10. It just depends on what you're looking at. In a camera, in this circumstance, you're actually not going to have. It doesn't look as good unless you're about 6. 6 or 4 even. Right now we're running 6, but I can confine it down to 4, and you'll notice there's no flicker whatsoever. Right. It just completely shows up.
And we're losing some frames with the internet connection. So.
You go ahead.
So okay. Yeah. So for those of you out there watching us right now, you're not seeing it as clearly and smoothly as it would typically be because we are dropping frames. Unfortunately, the internet connection.
Right.
We'll blame it on Facebook.
Sure, yeah, why not? Awesome, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all the text, and I'm going to put up just the word, or just the letters DJ, all right? Yep. I'm going to take down our flow, so now it's just going to be a static on. And then, so we have a couple other functions in here. You've got a move, where you can have it move left and right, and you see you can control the speed with the up and down arrows. And then I can take that out. I can have it go up and down. See that? Yeah. And then I have my personal favorites, which are the roll. We have a Y-axis roll and a Z-axis roll and an X-axis roll. But my favorite is the X-axis roll. Or the Z-axis roll. It just looks so good. You see how it's kind of spinning around in circles?
Yep.
It just looks so cool. And I was playing around with this earlier tonight, and I was listening to some music, and I'm like, man, this just looks awesome. It looks really cool. So it was a really fun thing to play around with. But the other thing for those of you like crazy lighting geeks out there that love to really get in with the gear, because you can type text in here, you can also type symbols. And I can tell you some of the symbols that are in here look really cool in fog. So that's one thing I want to make sure I get clear with you, John. I don't have any fog here because I'll set my fire alarms off.
Yep.
Which I know from experience. This thing is actually an incredible. This thing is an incredible aerial effect as well. There are a whole bunch of auto programs built in. We'll get to in just a minute that look really, really good in the air. And I've played around with a couple of the text programs as well. Like if you use minus signs, and like for instance here, I'll make one really quick. If you use a whole bunch of minus signs, you see how they're sitting up there on the wall and they make like little spinning lines?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you take the roll off and it's flat, you can actually, there's another key on the keyboard called wave. And these minus signs are the best way to show off the wave. So if you watch them, you can actually see as you add in the wave, so the wave gets bigger and bigger. You can actually make it do these wave patterns with the minus signs, and it looks just really cool in fog. But at any rate, we'll cover that a little later.
Sure.
One of the really nice things is that once you take your text programs and you make the ones that you want, like for instance DJ, I'll put that in there right now. We got a crazy wave going, so let's get rid of that one. There's a DJ one, and then you can actually take it. Here, I'll show you how this works. Once you've picked your DJ program, you just hit save, and then you hit 1. And once you've hit 1, that means that unit is actually saved in the button on your IR remote, your included IR remote, mind you. And you can actually re-trigger it later by hitting the 1 button on your IR remote. So you can save up to 10 text programs with all of those different parameters that we had just talked about in this one remote. Really cool stuff. So if you know you got a wedding coming up and you've got a program that's the bride and groom's name, you've got a couple other ones that you really like, you can save those in 6, 7, 8, and then your bride ones can be 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
You can have a New Year's program. It's awesome. So I'm gonna actually one last thing with the keyboard, and then we're gonna put it away because the IR remote has got a lot of fun stuff too. You can actually, with this little button right here, you can actually switch over, and you see if I hit that, you see how it shows up text on the wall behind me?
Yeah.
You can actually go through this and switch to auto, music, or a clock. And that clock, you can actually set the date and time of it and actually recall that later so you have a clock up in the background, which is really cool, especially for New Year's stuff. So you can go through and actually set it all from the keyboard here, and you can trigger all of those auto programs right from the keyboard. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, granted, my favorite thing to do is actually to do the programs from the IR remote. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on right here. So on the IR remote, you've got auto programs, which has a bunch of built-in effects. Like we've got a Christmas one, we've got a Halloween one, we've got a Valentine's Day one, we've got some wedding type effects. You can see the birds flying back and forth there. You got a Halloween one. Now this is another example of why it's important to kind of configure your laser, because you can bring the size down so it's a little more manageable. You see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now you've got a bunch of trick or treat going. You've got some scary cat thing, and you've got a ghost and a pumpkin and all kinds of fun stuff. So this thing's got a bunch of pre-built programs that are already catered to specific type of events that you'd be doing. So we've got just a standard box thing for a cool wall effect. This one is probably my favorite in fog because it puts out that like burst effect with beams.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. It really does. This is a 50 milliwatt diode in here, so it's a very bright green diode. And so this thing looks just amazing in fog. And we're going to be releasing a video here too soon from Chauvet DJ where you'll be able to see the actual output of it. But you'll see that in probably a few days or something.
Now, Nick, with the 50 milliwatt, do you need any kind of licensing for that?
No, you don't. Actually, this unit is completely variance-free. If you've heard that with a lot of these bigger lasers, you have to get a variance for it to use it and display it in public spaces and whatever. With this one, because of the way that the lensing works on it, you don't have to have a variance for it whatsoever. Okay. Now, granted, I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing right now, which is basically blasting myself in the face with it, but I'm doing this for video purposes. So... but as you can see, there's a bunch of built-in programs in here that are a lot of fun for any kind of event. This could be used for a concert. This can be used for a backdrop on your, at a show or whatever. And then here, of course, is our awesome countdown sequence.
Oh, nice.
It'll count down from 5 to Happy New Year, which is awesome. That's perfect. I think about how many times I wish I would have had something like this where I could use it in a New Year's, just hit a button and bam, it's ready to go. Yeah. And then, of course, from the IR remote, here's our awesome DJ symbol again. So you can trigger that up. And then you also have the clock function that I originally spoke about. Now, right now, this clock isn't set. I haven't actually set it up yet. But it's very easy to do. Just look at the manual, and it'll walk you all the way through it. We also have these really cool built-in auto programs, as I was talking about, but these ones are more specific to a program. Like this spiral effect will just keep going and spinning, keep going and spinning. You've got, like a couple other wall effects. You've got some really cool, there we go. Got star effects. You got some square stuff. Really, really cool. There's so much potential with this laser. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
So. And of course, if you forget your keyboard or you forget your IR remote, you can always control the laser right from the front of the unit as well. We include a button on there that you can actually use to control the laser directly right off of the display. That way, if you do forget everything and you lose everything, you still have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
So, yep. So, yeah, that is the Scorpion script. It is a lot to talk about, and hopefully this kind of gave you a little bit of insight into the unit itself and what it can do. And I know when I first started playing around with this thing, my imagination was going crazy. So hopefully you guys are in that same boat now too. So
yeah, what kind of a distance, kind of a maximum distance can that shoot? Would you say?
I would use it in rooms that are probably, it really depends because it's a laser. So lasers have really long firing range, especially with the manual size adjustment on the back of it. You can actually adjust it so that if you're in a very big room, you can make the text very small because then on the other side of the room, it'll look big, but it's not actually big, I've seen lasers like this used in gymnasiums before, but it's also, balancing it out with other lights that are of similar brightness. That's one of the really important things is to just be aware of your system. You have to know what it's capable of and what you can do with it. And sometimes it's you're the one that knows the system the best out of everybody at that show. So you can adjust things and make things, match and work. However, I can tell you, this thing does pack a punch, so it can keep up with a lot of the brighter lights that I know that Chauvet DJ offers. We've when we had it at DJ Expo, we had it sitting out with a whole bunch of other lights, including some pin spots and a gobo projectors and everything. And man, this thing was just smoking them. It was very bright, but that's because it's a laser. It can move a lot more light to a very precise spot.
Yes. Well, in your situation right there, you've got the lights on above your head in the room. Yeah,
I've got the whole room lights on and everything. And actually, I've got a light right here too in my face that's lighting me up. So that's hitting the back wall as well.
Yeah,
so it's very bright. But yeah, it's an absolutely great little light. Yeah. It really is.
Very neat. So. And that was just released at DJ Expo. That was the first time the world got to see it. Is that correct?
Correct. That is absolutely correct. We had a whole bunch of them there, and we couldn't even keep them on the floor. They all left, and right now we're really pushing them, and they're I can't even tell you. They're moving so quickly. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So,
but if people want to get one, they can call their favorite retailer, and
absolutely,
they'll get them hooked up.
Absolutely.
With it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, and our internet cleared up here towards about the last half of the video.
That's typical.
It's like, well, after you went through all the cool little components before, but we get the really good view of the IR remote and all the different parts of it, so guys can get a look at that. So,
awesome.
Well, neat, good stuff. So yeah, we've got a lot of cool lights we're going to be looking at this fall.
Tons of them. Yeah. It's going to be a good time, and LDI is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So. And we have some really fun stuff coming out then too as well.
Yeah. So that's that time's. Yeah, we're about a little over a month, 2 months away. 2 months away from LDI. I don't want to shorten it up any more than we have to.
Yeah. You're telling me.
I don't think so. Well, Nick, we're gonna wrap things up tonight. Thank you much for your time tonight. That's some really cool stuff, and I'm looking forward to some of the additional new stuff, which we've already seen a little bit of it, of course, but a lot of the guys out there haven't seen it, so this is a good chance to check it out.
Yep, we'll dig into it and make sure you put your questions down in the field below, or if you see any of the new products that came out at DJ Expo that you specifically want to see, let us know. We'll be happy to put them out there for you.
Yep, just make a comment right down below the YouTube video, and that way we'll check it out and be able to bring you one of those lights at one of the next shows we do with Nick. Nick, one more time, thank you very much, and have a great evening.
You as well, John.
All right.
Take it easy.
Thank you. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV. Good night.